What's going on, guys? This is Lion Among Wolves, and in this video we're going to be talking a lot about emotions and starting off a series where I want to talk about emotions from infancy, attachment styles and bonds in the second video, and in the third video, different ways how that connects and how we go from infancy to where we are today. With that being said, let's get started. So as babies, we don't know anything going into the world, contrary to what many believe. We don't know what hunger is or fatigue or anything like this, so we begin communicating with our caregiver. We communicate primarily in three ways: by sight, by vocalization, and by touch. And through these means, we can begin to either appreciate or depreciate a value for self, and we begin to become aware of self, aware of the caregiver, aware of others in stages. Our brain also is developing during this time. 0 to 6 months is the primary brain. And then 6 months to 2 years is the limbic system, the nerves that are in the skin to the back, to the spine, that is, and into the brain. This will give us a sense of alertness, fight, flight, fear very much is developed, freeze, fawn. Different responses to safety and different responses to danger are being formed. And then after 2 years, obviously, the prefrontal cortex begins being developed and doesn't finish being developed till much later, 25 to 30 years old. During this time, as we reach out to our caretaker, we start realizing patterns and predictability. So it all starts with pain. We realize that pain later is hunger, or we realize that pain might be fatigue or something like this. As we cry out, we start realizing cerebrally and instinctively that when we cry out, we get a new diaper or put down for a nap, or we get breast milk from the caretaker, and that in of itself will begin the early stages of our emotions. From anxiety, which I would define as kind of a ambiguous pain that we have, will later develop into other different colors of emotions. Now, this is getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Well, I can say this for right now in this video. Stress is when that weight or pressure we feel when it's done in a healthy manner. We have the equipment and the supplies, we just haven't gotten started yet, or we don't know if we can do it or not. Stress in a high end of things is when we no longer have the resources to be able to carry that load. And even as babies, we are feeling stress if we don't know where our next meal is coming from, if we'll ever not be tired, etc., etc. This is greatly shaped by our caregiver, and so it's incredibly important for us to take a step back and to learn where our emotions come from. It's good for us to take a step back and to consider why we do the things that we do, where our emotions directly come from. We reach out and communicate to our caregiver in three main modes or vehicles or contexts in which we try to reach out. And we might try to reach out by seeing, or by vocalizing, or by touch, in three different contexts. Context number one: are we calm or are we very alert? Did the caregiver give us breast milk or hit us as kids? Some people, hopefully the majority, get breast milk, but unfortunately there are some caregivers that will obviously abuse the baby, and it's quite terrifying, which will greatly shape the emotions. So the first context is, are we alert or are we calm? Or to put this in from a different perspective, is the caretaker calm or is the caretaker rather alert? This will greatly, this is what a baby will ping off of. The second context is, are we tired or are we energized? And the flip side of that is the caretaker tired or is the caretaker not energized? Finally, the third category in which we like to communicate is we will look inward or we will look outward. It's easy to be able to test this. Ask yourself, do I find myself during the day thinking a lot about what's going on inside my body and mind and mental health? Or am I more focused on what's going on outside of me? That's the third mode. These three modes of communication will form the basis of several other categories of this. So if I'm thinking outward and I'm alert and I'm tired, I'm going to be able to put all those pieces together and come up with a new category of a trauma response or a trauma inducing response. Maybe I'm running from my life, or maybe there's pain or some kind of great sadness. Maybe there's grief, etc., etc. But from these three are the main building blocks. And what I'm trying to get us to do in this video is to have a language in which we can talk about our emotions. It comes from our infancy, and we try to reach out by communicating with our words, with our eyes, and with touch. And we try to do this in three different contexts. Are we alert, or are we calm? Are we tired? Are we energized? Are we looking inward or looking outward? In the next video, I'm going to talk about the next step, which is attachment styles. But I can say this much so far. The first attachment style is the healthy attachment, the healthy relationship. Even after some separation, etc., or some kind of hardship, the emotions regulate much quicker. We're back to being happy. We're back to being productive. Attachment style number 2 is the disengaged. This is the type that is fairly able to detach and ignore significant people on the inside. Attachment number 3, this is the baby or child that is ambivalent. So if someone close to them returns, a caregiver, parents, siblings, they're angry. They're not happy about it. They're rather upset. But then when the caregiver or the siblings go away, they feel themselves full of withdrawn longing and shattering. In the previous video, we talked about swirl, where there's 5 stages of attachment grief, and this very much plays into the ambivalence style, or really all the styles. How do we respond to shattering? How do we respond to withdrawal? How do we respond to the introspection and looking inward? How do we respond to rage, and how do we respond to lifting? All right. The final attachment style is the disorganized or chaotic style. This one is met with a lot of grief, and the mind is disjointed because it no longer has a context of connection. When we're babies, and how we connect with our caregiver will very much shape predictability and how we understand the world. If there is a healthy context of the world where there's one mom and one dad, we are loved and safe and nurtured and cared for, we have a good, stable, secure context of the world. But if any one of these things are missing, there is going to open up chaos and a lot of mystery. With that, stay metal.